This Nerd Bite contains potential spoilers. You can find more details in the description below.
Yeah, it was mid. It was fine. Definitely mid.
So that one was probably the quickest review we've ever given.
There you go.
Hopefully you enjoyed that. But Avatar: Way of Water.
Yes, that movie was not mid. That movie was actually hella decent.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge fan of James Cameron as a person.
I thought you were gonna say I'm not a huge fan of 3-hour long movies.
Well, if they're bad, I'm definitely not a fan of them.
I mean,
But I feel like duration is what it is when it's a great movie.
really?
Yeah.
So like you don't care if a movie is 4 hours long?
If it's good.
It's a flight to that's driving from Massachusetts.
What were you going to say, a flight?
I thought it was going to be a flight. Well, it's a little bit longer than a flight from here to Massachusetts.
Okay.
Mhm.
But driving, it's definitely shorter.
Driving from Massachusetts to New York. That's how long it is.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say from here.
Everything circles back to Massachusetts. That's my point of reference.
Got to find a way to work it in.
Exactly. Yeah. Avatar: Way of Water though was really good, well written. I was surprised in regards to the fact that I enjoyed the movie as a whole.
Yeah.
And I'm also was a fan of the first one, but it wasn't something that I was like, I need a second one.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but that's just how I felt. But then I was sucked right back into the world and I was immersed and I was like, all right, here we are. I will say this, at D23, I was not thrilled at all. Like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I did not have a good time. But it's probably most to be fair, I was there for Marvel,
right?
Not really for Fox, and they were like,
that's a recurring theme with you. I feel like anytime you go into a DC movie, it already has 5 points against it because you're like, this isn't Marvel.
This isn't Marvel. What am I doing here? So I don't know what multiverse.
The most biased film critic of all time.
is this
Ant-Man's not in this movie.
What is this?
Not that you like Ant-Man. That was the worst example I could have picked.
But yeah, I think like I was going in being like, all right, they showed Lucasfilms, and I was like, all right, no one cares anymore. Like, let's move on. You're still in the Skywalker universe, so like I'm over it. Anyway, and then they were like Marvel, and I was like, yeah. And then Marvel got off, and then I was like, oh, so maybe we're gonna get some Marvel swag, and nope, it was Avatar: Way of Water.
Yeah.
And they gave us all glasses that we weren't able to keep. We were able to keep the cloth though. I don't know where it's at. It's in the trash.
Nice.
But yeah, they showed us like 5 different clips of that 3-hour long movie, and it made no sense. It's like dropping you into like the first 5 minutes, then taking you out, putting you in the first 40 minutes because like things happen. You're like, who are these kids?
So it skipped?
Yeah. And then it showed the water and going into the water for the first time. You're like, what is happening?
Okay.
And then they showed them fighting.
Yeah, that's a weird decision.
Yeah. It was all over the place. And I was like, what is happening in this film? Like, I don't like, it seems like 5 different plots are happening. Yeah. And I have no idea what's going on. But needless to say, as I saw the whole movie, I enjoyed it.
That's kind of what I was getting at. And I didn't have that experience at D23, or I feel like I might have had even more of a grudge against it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So I never saw. There were some people, and even people I really respect, and I still don't really know to this day why I decided not to. There's certain things that I feel like pop culture happen, and I'm just like, I almost adamantly don't want to be a part of it or something. I remember feeling that way when the first Avatar came out, and it was like, it's making billions of dollars. It was like the most hipster thing of me in the world.
That's exactly what I was about to call you, a hipster. I don't.
It was like
Starbucks.
Oh, that's too mainstream for me.
I'm sorry.
I liked Avatar when it was premiering in the back alleys.
Yeah, and I actually grow my own.
I grow my own avatars.
Avatars in the backyard. So why do I need to watch someone else create something that I already have That's organic. I got it from Whole Foods,
Yeah.
so yikes.
Yeah.
You got yours from Target? Ooh,
Ugh.
yeah.
Unobtainium?
Oh,
Can we all agree unobtainium is the dumbest name of an element?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, well, rewatch the first one, I guess.
Oh, well,
That's kind of the catalyst for the whole movie. It's like,
I haven't
although
watched.
they kind of changed it in this movie. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I never watched the first Avatar in
Really?
theaters,
Oh, okay.
uh, specifically because I felt like this thing is overrated, and I had no reason to think that.
Ridiculous.
I thought it was
How
overrated,
dare
and
you?
then because I knew people that had gone multiple times in theaters to have the 3D experience, and to
Mm,
me, like I've never been a big fan of 3D, and I was like, it can't be that good. I just convinced myself it wasn't,
yeah.
and then I waited for it to come out on Blu-ray, and I was like, this is like I heard all these people saying like it's just Fern Gully or it's just Pocahontas
Yeah.
with like blue people,
Yep.
and I that's all I could think about. I was like, this is just a generic story, and I don't get why it is the highest box office draw of all time. That's how I felt about the first one, and so I kind of came into this one like thinking it's been 5 years. Who still cares about this to the point where like they even wanted a sequel? James Cameron's been running his mouth off about everything under the sun, like the most conceited, pompous comments about himself
Marvel.
as yeah, like bashing action movies of all sorts and specifically Marvel and
Did you?
specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Side note. Did you see who else was bashing Marvel recently?
Oh, recently? I know Scorsese's had several things to say.
Uh, yes, but I don't know her name because I don't watch any of those films. But the girl
Oh,
from
Fast?
Bro,
Yeah, I think that was an old interview actually. She said something like, how many Marvel films have we had at this point? Do we really need another one?" And they're doing Fast
bro,
X. I think that was an old interview. I saw that
bro,
recently too.
what? What the fuck?
What's her name? Rodriguez? I think her. I don't
Eeh.
know.
No, yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't. Why are you talking about Marvel films when all of your films are ridiculous? And I'm getting into my bag again. Sorry, let me
There's
continue.
no way this preamble is worth it. I promise you.
Yeah,
I'm like over explaining my experience with the first movie, but I was trying to set up the grudge that I had against this movie
yeah.
to let you know that's how much I liked it
Because
because I feel like it had
you
everything
saw it in
going against
theaters.
it. Like I wasn't impressed at all about the first one. I had no nostalgia about seeing the first one in theaters and being impressed with the 3D. Um, I thought the story was mid, as you would say,
Mm.
uh,
As the kids are saying nowadays.
as the kids are saying. Oh God, I'm not gonna do that. Uh, and I just feel like that combined with like all of James Cameron's comments leading up to it, and the fact that like 5 or 6 years had gone by between the first two, and I'm like, who's asking for a sequel to this movie that didn't even have a great story?
Mm.
So I went in with all that baggage, which I think is a bad idea, and I try not to do that with things. Like I intentionally try not to have that sort of mentality going onto anything, and it was just great. It was immersive.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like the story, like with the family, I really bought into the idea that he had kind of planted roots with this family, like as he like sort of forsook his old life and was now like part of the Navi.
Mm.
Um,
Which I don't know. I think that's the part that didn't make the most sense to me is that he hated humans so
mm,
much because he was technically a human,
yeah.
right? But
Well, I think he just like he could not rationalize their decisions to essentially like decimate an entire planet for the sake of
that's
their
not
own.
everyone though. But like the way he treated the human character, like the human boys, and like it was like weird. Like he treated him like a dog.
Yeah, most of them did.
Yeah, and that was weird to me because he was also
Spider.
Yeah, he was.
I will
Also,
say that was like the cringiest character to me.
Yes,
I was like, why is he wearing a loincloth?
He was
like,
Tarzan.
I know, but like that whole
Let it
visual
flap in the wind.
Hey, I mean, you sold it on me just now.
Can you throw it over your
I
shoulder like a
completely take it
continental
back.
soldier? You know?
Oh. Yeah. Like a continental soldier. I've never heard that before. That's good.
Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a boat? Can you throw it over your shoulder like a continental soldier?
That's what that line is.
Yeah.
I've never realized that's what that was.
Whoop. Just wrap that thing around your leg.
You learn something new every day. And on this podcast, more than most.
The more you know. Here we go. You ready? Ready? Wow. We did it in wow.
Should I do that in post? Should I add the stars? Okay.
The more you know.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed it.
I liked it.
And you liked it because
I think
you actually
Spider
saw it in theaters.
Yeah, and I saw it in theaters, and I really liked the 3D experience. That was, I think, the first 3D movie I've seen.
Didn't we watch it? We watched it together.
Yeah.
We watched this movie together.
Yeah, we saw it together.
Okay. Yeah. I don't remember it in 3D.
Yeah, we did 3D.
Who made that decision? You did?
I think we made it together.
Mm.
I know Megan didn't make it.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I don't remember either one of us or both of us, but I don't remember. I don't know if I would have made that but maybe I was like,
it was probably me, honestly. I think I did have a desire going into it to see,
because you missed out on the first one.
And I also knew like there'd been even more advancements in the 3D technology in the years that, because like that's the one thing I'll say for James Cameron's last movie is like there's movies like Lucasfilm actually does this a lot where they use like Jar Jar Binks is a great example. You go back now and you watch Jar Jar Binks and you're like, man, this CG was like not
up.
It doesn't hold up very well.
It wasn't hitting like the kids are saying.
But like God, you have to stop that. Okay.
There it is. All right.
Is that how it's done?
Wasn't hitting.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Doesn't hold up.
Means don't hold up.
But I feel like because that was like such a groundbreaking technology.
Yeah.
Like the motion capture and stuff. Like Lord of the Rings did that after. And so much of what they developed at Industrial
Lord of the Rings came out after the first.
I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure the motion capture technology that Jar Jar Binks was created by Industrial Light and Magic, which is Lucasfilm owns Industrial Light and Magic and was it Skywalker Sound? They're both like cutting edge, like the soundstage technology now that Mandalorian like. Do you know about that?
Mm-mm.
So it's called the volume. It's like a responsive space that like the camera that's filming you, as it moves around you, the background is like a seamless, like high definition screen that responds to the position of the camera in a way that like from the camera's perspective, it looks like a real like landscape behind you. So they can go film in the desert or they can film on a hangar of a Star Cruiser.
Yeah.
And if the camera's moving around, and if you're filming like say there's a second camera, if the main camera's filming, the background is like shifting with the camera to give like real perspective. So it's filming as if it's a real thing. So all that's like one of the most contemporary, most groundbreaking film technologies happening right now. Almost all of the major ones have come from Lucasfilm or James Cameron with like his 3D work on Avatar. Yep. Phantom Menace was released in 1999.
That's wild, bro.
That is wild. It wasn't even the 2000s.
Yikes.
That's how advanced that movie was. Because you think about it as if it is a 2000s movie. But Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, which was the first one by Peter Jackson, came out 2 years after that. So those were like the two first motion capture performances. There were CGI characters before that and around that same time, but those I think were like Jar Jar Binks was like proprietary motion capture technology that no one had done before. So
1999, bro.
isn't that wild?
We're old, bro.
We're super old. I remember when that movie came out. I did not think it was in the 90s.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You're a grandpa, my guy.
So I was 10 when that came out.
Wasn't 8? 9? 9. 9?
Yeah.
Time is a construct. But yeah. So I would give Avatar: The Way of Water a solid 8 out of 10 chef kisses.
I'd probably go.
You're gonna go 9. I feel it in my bones.
I don't know. I really liked it. But I didn't like. I thought Spider was like so cringy. Honestly, like I feel like 8.5 is the right spot.
You're just one-upping me, huh? That's fine.
We talked about this. So for those of you who don't know, we're trying to start doing like official film critiques on Rotten Tomatoes, and
yes,
it would probably have to be an aggregate score between our two ratings of a movie because we're doing it as Nerd Institute, and it will almost exclusively be me lifting the score up and Eric bringing the score down,
100%,
and it being all the movies are going to be like 50%.
Yeah, 50%. So I think the middle ground would be an 8.3.
Yeah.
That's giving you more.
8.25 continuing.
Yes. 8.25. Chef kisses.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good enough for me to buy it. On sale.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We checked it out with the surround sound home system here.
We got Sonos sponsor us.
Is there anything specific you liked or didn't like about it?
No. I think it's one of those movies that I enjoyed. I would watch it again if like I wanted to just put something on. Like I put it on the other day and just was watching it and then kind of fell asleep.
Yeah.
But like it's not something that I'm like, bro, this was like a masterpiece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was really good. I would recommend watching it to anyone that hasn't watched it. But yeah, solid.
Yeah. I agree. I think I just thought of another thing that for me, just story wise, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I loved how it tied in the whales to the story, but I thought what they were like harvesting from the whales is like an anti-aging serum. That was kind of like what unobtainium was in the first movie. It was like the MacGuffin. It was like the humans' reason for being there and what they were doing there. So, you remember unobtainium now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
because you can't obtain it.
There you go.
Unobtainium. And these guys are smart. That's how they get paid the big bucks.
I'm surprised the main character's name wasn't Protagonist Jones or something.
Protagonist
Unobtainium Protagonist Jones.
At your service. Although they're saying Indiana Jones is not great.
We're not talking Lucasfilm.
We're not, but I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, I heard the ratings were mixed.
I've never seen any of the movies.
I will say the other thing that this movie did really well that I kind of was building up. I was like waiting to hate it. Was all the teenage characters, because I hate, like, I'm thinking about like
his son. Son's the worst.
I mean, I feel like they all had moments where like, oh, these are just stupid kids. Like I hate that trope of like the kid who thinks they know it all and doesn't want to listen to their parents, and they end up like doing something stupid that forces the parents.
Is there a movie
it worked in Lion King with Simba. That's enough. We don't need to see that with every teenage character ever.
We're done. Yeah.
But these ones, I felt like they set it up like they were gonna be screw ups and just never have any redeeming qualities. But I feel like even the ones that screwed up, there was the one son that he like didn't want to listen to his dad, and they were always butting heads, and he almost got his brother killed. But he redeemed himself in the movie. Like, he had growth in the movie. Whereas I feel like it's so easy for those teenager tropes to easily fall into this, like, they just kind of live and die as an idiot in my brain. Like, when I think back on the story, it's just like, that character was obnoxious. I don't think that way about that character because he actually served a purpose in the story at the end. And he actually had like a deep connection to the whales that the other ones didn't. And that was kind of a meaningful connection for the end plot. So, and then the one daughter that had the connection to like the life force that they weren't even sure how she was made.
Sigourney Weaver,
yeah.
It was a bit weird.
Yeah. But I kind of liked it.
It was a bit strange.
It was strange, but I liked it.
It was her voicing her.
How did they do that?
Get Sigourney Weaver to voice her daughter?
She just talked with like helium?
Probably. Hi, it's me.
It's a me.
It's a me.
Sigourney.
Sigourney. It's a me, Sigourney Weaver. Oh, Mama, why you don't remember my name?
That's the sound clip. Just go ahead and cut that out.
It's me. I'm sorry, Green Mario. Yikes. I'm sorry, Blue Mario. I don't know. I don't know why she was able to talk to those things. We never really got a or maybe we did and I just don't remember. Like
an explanation. I think that is definitely going to be a huge part of like the next stories. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got air, water. Next one's earth, maybe.
Wait, was the last one air? I guess with the flying. Yeah.
Or maybe
I think the next one's fire, is from what I've heard. Yeah. I think the next one's fire. It's like volcanic.
When the Fire Nation attacks.
Yeah.
So they
Prince
are.
Zuko. Yeah.
They are doing.
I can't remember in the animated version of this if Prince Zuko was. It would be so funny if we were able to convincingly talk about this movie the whole time as if we thought it was a live action.
Remember Ong?
You mean Aang?
No, Ong.
You know my favorite thing about this? It's not funny at all.
Ong is amazing. Yeah. Yikes.
Oh.
Well, all right. So I think Avatar was good.
Give it an 8. I mean, that's good for you.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah.
That's as good as it gets.
For you. For me. I mean, that might as well be a 10.
You know, it can't. So this, we had a whole conversation about this, right? For ratings. Maybe you guys agree with me because the way I think about things is like my top number one movie is a 10.
Yeah.
It's hard to get
which
10s.
Is few and far between.
Few. Yeah. Very, very few. And like, surprisingly, my top movies of all time: Into the Spider-Verse, The Theory of Everything.
The Theory of Everything.
Yeah.
Really?
What's his name?
From Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
Yeah, man.
Eddie Redmayne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful film.
I've never seen it. I have to check it out now.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
Is it called Hacksaw Ridge?
Oh yeah.
With Andrew Garfield? Yep. Sensational movie.
That is a great movie. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It changed my whole idea of what Andrew Garfield has to bring to the table. And then you have Endgame. No, Infinity War.
Okay.
All tens. Oh, and Winter Soldier. Tens.
Got it.
5 tens across the board.
And those are your only 5?
Only 5.
So Winter Soldier is in your list?
Winter Soldier is oh, last one, 6. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
That's what I thought you were trying to say when you said the Theory of Everything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Theory of Everything is really good.
I also still have not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I'm thoroughly ashamed of. I've heard so many good things about it.
See, that's the thing. I feel like you're not going to like it.
Really?
Yeah. I
Why?
feel like it's been hyped up for you too much. I went in not knowing what this movie was about. It took me 2 times to watch it because I was working. And so I wasn't working, but I was working. And so I got interrupted. So I had to leave the theater. Luckily, I have AMC, A-List, sponsor us. And
I'm still waiting for Movie Pass.
My man still has the card. He's holding out hope and stock.
No, the stock is gone at this point. Liquidated.
But yeah, it took me 2 times to watch it, and I finally was able to like watch the entirety of the film, and it was like amazing, heartfelt, everything.
Beautiful.
So, if I'm willing to buy it,
yeah,
without
I definitely want to see it. I definitely want to see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
So movie night.
Yeah,
we have surround sound now. Surround sound.
Multiverse. The true multiverse movie is what I've heard.
It is, and the Russo brothers had a part in it. Bring them back to Marvel.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting rid of James Gunn, I mean the Russo brothers, they were better than James Gunn.
Well, I don't think James Gunn was ever going to. I was like, I thought my mic fell off for a second. I don't think James Gunn was ever going to play the role at Marvel that he's playing at DC now.
No,
absolutely. he's like borderline Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
at DC with his new role. Yeah,
but yeah,
cool.
But Guardians was supposed to come out first.
That mixed up the whole Phase 4. Honestly, with all the drama, I don't want to get too lost on this, but with all the drama that happened with James Gunn, I feel like that contributed heavily to why the production at Phase 4 has been subpar for Marvel. I feel like not because of his lack of presence in other properties. I don't think he would have been super involved in them.
No.
But I think the shakeup of, we have to like plan around fixing Guardians 3. I think that affected the stories of all those movies in mostly negative ways. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So we're actually Avatar 8.5, 8.
8.2.5.
Nerd Institute gives it 8.25.
Well, yeah. 82.5.
So I would go see it if you haven't, and I'm actually looking forward to the third one. Whereas when the second one came out, I was like, I was only going to see it because I wanted to hate James Cameron, and now I like have to give him props because it's a good movie.
It's a fantastic film. Fantastic. It was a great film. It was a great film. Go see it.
And it was really great seeing it in theaters.
Yeah. And if you have Sonos,
blast it. Make your neighbors angry. All right. So, Marvel.
Ooh.
All right, that brings us to the end of this episode. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please follow this podcast wherever you're listening to it. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all major podcast platforms. And if you like this episode, keep an eye out for our companion videos where we address specific topics related to the same thing. Here at Nerd Institute, we really love hearing from you guys. If you have any questions, if you're following along with any of the series that we're reviewing, please send in your questions. Tell us what you guys are thinking. We just might use your question as a topic for one of our podcast episodes. Engage in our matchup tournaments where we pin characters from all of our favorite franchises up against each other to see who you think might win in a fight. And of course, like and follow all of our content across social media. That's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter at nerd_institute. And if you don't feel like using social media, you can always message us directly with any comments, questions, topics, or concerns at anerd33@gmail.com. And until next time, later nerds.